Have you ever actually met/know someone who has won the lottery? What happened to them? My sister's ex won around $150 million, nicest guy, his brother manages the money so he doesn't blow it, living his best life. Money never changed him, because he was already so chill, dude deserves it after putting up with my sister. Helped out my niece, not his daughter, with college. A woodwork teacher from high school won the lottery twice, I think it was, only, around $250,000 each time. So he didn't quit his job, but he completely gave up on trying to keep the class under control. He'd usually just show us YouTube videos of him racing superbikes in the countryside. He gave me a decent grade for a clock I made at least. I think that there's something in the DNA of woodshop teachers that makes them not totally give a fuck any time ours was out for a sub. We'd watch Tommy Boy, and sometimes when it was close to the holidays and he just didn't feel like it, we'd watch Tommy Boy. A friend of mine won about $250,000 at a casino, and then he lost almost all of it. I have a slightly similar one. My great-uncle has hit big in the casino a few times and can waltz into any gas station and seems to come out with like a 5,000 winner on a scratcher every time. All I know is at one point he just sold his house and dipped out to Mexico with everything he had left and no one has seen him since. I won $250,000 on a $5 scratch-off 8 years ago. It was right before Christmas and I had been fired 2 weeks before. After taxes we got a check for $167,000 and some change, paid off all credit cards. Bought the wife a brand new Honda Accord, bought a small business, lived off it for the next several years while I grew my business and my wife got her master's. It was life-changing. I sold mortgages for a bit and talked to a lady who was dead broke, in mountains of debt and was trying to consolidate debt and refinance her house. Through the course of conversation, it came to light that she won almost $4 million playing the lottery, and took home $2 million after taxes. About 3 years earlier, she was in bad financial shape, so I asked what she did with all the money and how she got into the situation she was in. And she honestly had no idea. Her words were essentially, we took a few trips, bought 2 new cars, paid off the house and stuff, but I have no clue how I spent $2 million and racked up over $100,000 in credit card debt in 3 years. Something strange must happen when you win money that you just stop paying attention to where your money goes. It's very weird. Like, put it in the bank, don't spend money on stupid shit. Don't give money to relatives that come crawling out of the woodwork. Yeah, but what constitutes stupid shit? Paying off the mortgage seems smart, 2 new cars could be reasonable, a couple of trips. What good is money if you can't enjoy it? But of course. $2 million goes quickly if you're staying at 5-star hotels and ordering top-shelf room service and dining out all the time. And those cars can be Kias or they can be Benzes, that's a big difference. Worked with a guy who won like $3,000/week for life on a scratch-off. He continued working for like 6 months before he bought a truck and went and lived the O/O life in the oil fields of North Dakota. Bought everyone pizza on his last day. Wait, he won $3,000 a week for life and then went to North Dakota? As someone who used to work the oil fields of ND, WTF, he still wanted to work and apparently was making pretty good loot driving in the fields. Hard to believe, but I know a few people. There was a middle-aged guy in my childhood neighborhood who won $10 million. He bought 2 cars within 2 weeks of winning it, Dodge Viper and a Bentley. He then sold his house and last I heard he moved down south. He also gave some to his kids and he has a son that opened a heat pump business. My parents have a camper trailer in a trailer park and a couple who they sold their old trailer to won $1 million. They sold the trailer my parents sold to them and bought a brand new one, unsure of what else they did with the money. They still continue to work full-time. My uncle won $50,000, he's retired from the military and also has a job working for the government. He clears over $150,000 a year with his military pension along with his job. He was literally in the middle of building a $400,000 house when he won it. He split it amongst his 3 children, my cousins, and didn't keep a dime. Relative won over $100 million, got new houses, hired security to make sure kids stayed safe. Then relationships with relatives and friends deteriorated because everyone thinks that money is theirs. Which is why they shouldn't have told anybody. I've seen so many families fall out over an inheritance that wasn't worth piss anyway. I've seen friends fall out over €50, so imagine the fallouts 100 million could do. My boyfriend in high school's dad won 500,000, he was from Cuba and he came in happily screaming in his very strong accent, "Holy shit, Maine, I just won 500,000. When asked how, he just kept repeating, "I was seating under the mango tree and I won." This went back and forth about 10 times, his whole family wanted to throttle him because they thought he lost his mind and were highly annoyed not knowing why sitting under a mango tree had anything to do with winning money. We later found out that is where he scratched off the winning ticket. I thought the whole thing was hilarious. I'm not sure what he did with it because his son was a psychotic shithead and I dumped him shortly after.